What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Triple H podcast Happy Hour Hoops. Back after the All-Star break, NBA games kick back off tomorrow. We have KD burner drama. We have the All-Star weekend being bad and then turning good, and it was actually well received by the time the All-Star game happened. It wasn't really a game. It was 3 games. It was 4 games. Little bit of everything on the show today. We're going to be giving some flowers, some news. Jake and myself back at it today. Steve, not on this episode, but he will be back next episode. Jake, how are we doing post All-Star break? Back in the swing of things, back into the NBA action tomorrow.
Feeling good, man. It was a pretty fun All-Star experience, at least on Sunday. Saturday, I did not see much of the action there, but I did hear good things about the three-point contest. I literally heard nothing. Dunny, I didn't even see a dunk on Twitter on Saturday night. Like, that's how far we've come with the dunk contest. But
Just
the game
Jace
itself,
Richardson falling.
yeah, yeah, not ideal. Not exactly the highlights you're looking for from the All-Star game. But yeah, man, it was a really interesting format. We talked about it a little bit last week, but I think it played out pretty well. I mean, the only issue that I really had with it was the fact that the world team kind of ran out of gas because they had Luka, who wasn't really going to play with his injury, and Jokic, who just doesn't care about these things and also was coming back from an injury, and that kind of hindered that part of it. So we ended up with stars and stripes at the end. Stars and stripes is the only other thing I do have 2 complaints is that I could not remember who was on what team the whole time. I'm like, who's gonna come in right now? What's going on? And there was really not a rhyme or reason given. I guess it was kind of the older versus the new gen, but it wasn't complete. I don't know. It was just little nitpicks like that. But overall, if you're just talking about the basketball we wanted to see and the effort level and all of that, that's all we can ask for from an all-star game. Is that kind of effort. It doesn't need to be game 7, you know what I'm saying? But something, give us a little something. So
yeah, we could jump right into All-Star Weekend as a whole here as we kick off the episode, because I'm with you. I think the new format, it's pretty overwhelming, good response from all viewers, and seemingly of all ages too. I think people really enjoyed this format. Obviously, tweaks can happen. It would be cool still to just get a bigger world representation, so they could do just a full game of world versus US, because I do think that's where some of the competitive nature came out. But I didn't mind the short games and the kind of round robin tournament, and just how it was all played out. Obviously, by the end, the US versus US, and it was old versus young guys. I think maybe the Stripes were a little gassed because they were led by KD, Kawhi, and LeBron, who all kind of had their moments. Kawhi especially, we'll get to him. But yeah, the All-Star game itself, I think, really saved the weekend. Kind of started with Wemby and Ant just caring about the game. So I also think, this format, World versus USA, works. And then having a generation of guys led by Wemby and Ant moving forward, I think the game itself of All-Star Weekend is in pretty good hands for at least right now. And this was me going in with pretty much zero expectations, because I had about zero faith in this format. I wasn't really sure how it was going to play out. The last couple of years have been bad, obviously, and it worked. So I'll give Adam Silver credit where credit's due. Don't love all the stuff he's doing lately, but the All-Star game itself worked.
yeah, absolutely. I like I like the ingenuity. I like the creativity of trying to think of something. I know we made fun of it being a little too complex and a little bit whatever, and just it is what it is. But hey, man, you got the players. Maybe it was public shaming too. There's not enough public shaming in our society in general. People need to be shamed way more often. And all NBA fans were roasting players for the last couple years, but specifically going into this year, it was what do you got? Like, come on, man. Like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna watch the All Star game. Like, who cares about? Like, it was like way more. I feel like in the years past, there's been some excitement about the changes. You know what I mean? Like this year, I don't think there was a lot of excitement. I think it was like, let's watch how this train wreck goes. Now, do I think that um, the ratings, great ratings for the All Star game, huge number, everybody happy, everybody thrilled with that. I'm sure in the league office, it does help a little bit to be let in by the Olympics and be led and then to leave out for the Olympics, like people who just stayed on NBC that after the Olympic coverage is over and got that little lead in for the All-Star game. And also they didn't have, what was smart about that with that All-Star lead in was that they didn't have a 45-minute introduction with like Jack Harlow doing a performance and like
Yep.
last year, I feel like it was like 50 minutes before the All-Star game actually started. They got right into it, got us to basketball, like what we wanted to see. I felt like NBC itself did a really good job. I know there were some complaints about it not being in prime time also, especially All-Star Saturday. That I think is just more Olympic, preemption and everything else. But I'm pretty sure last year the All-Star Sunday started at like, bless you, I'm pretty sure All-Star Sunday last year started at like 6 o'clock Eastern anyway. So I feel like there isn't a big, like, they definitely didn't start like 8 o'clock Sunday night last year. There's no way.
Not last year, but in years past, I do remember it always being late. And I feel like, I think we're on the same page with that. Thought it was weird that Saturday was so early. I thoroughly enjoyed, of course, someone who wakes up early for work, enjoyed it being an early start on Sunday evening. I very much like that part of it.
Yeah, it was fun. It was entertaining from the players and just the seeing the effort and hearing some of the clips and everything else afterwards. Kawhi going off, going crazy, and obviously winning the MVP and bringing the energy from that side. I had a good time with it. We had some drama. Do we want to? I know it's not in our document. I do want to bring it up at some point here, though, with Kevin Durant and
Yeah.
everything going on there. But we could talk about it a little bit later because I do have the Rockets in our doc later on. But yeah, I mean, would you keep this format for next year? Do you still want to just go back to East West? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, so I mean, I've been, as you know, screaming the East West for the last 2 years, but I'm kind of sold on this format. I think it could be even better too, because I think if Jokic isn't worried about missing another game and kind of not being eligible for awards and stuff, if Luca wasn't coming off, and who knows, those guys both just might not care and wouldn't have played anyway. I'd like to think it was because of their injury history this year specifically. But like, think about, we didn't even have SGA, we didn't have Steph. Like, there was a lot of like notable guys who were out, and it was still that entertaining. So I'm definitely down for keeping this format for next year, and then like tweaks where tweaks can be made. So I'm cool with this. I think Saturday is in complete shambles. The 3-point contest will always be great. We're always going to love the 3-point contest. I think people that were mad about Dame being able to defend his title are dumb. Like, yeah, he didn't play a game at all this year, but it's super impressive that he was able to compete and win after coming off the brutal injury that he did. So I think shout out Dame in that aspect. I still think the 3-point contest is awesome. The dunk contest, I don't know. Like, I'm with you about the public shaming working for the All Star game, but I'm like wondering if guys are afraid of getting shamed in the dunk contest now, because there's just no one who wants to compete. Like, all like the past 3, 4, 5, 6 winners are guys who like barely have any real NBA games played. I mean, obviously they've played in games, but I think I saw like the last like 6 winners like have a combined like 300 NBA games played or something like that. So I would really like to fix the dunk contest and the skills thing. it was cool this year for like the two current guys and then like one legend on every team. I would like to go back to just the regular skills competition where they do like a little bit of dribbling, a little bit of shooting, and it's like kind of a timed one-on-one race. I don't really like when they did the duos, so I think they can go back to that. And then of course, you heard Jaylen Brown speaking out about it. Obviously, the WNBA players getting a lot of buzz with their one-on-one tournament stuff. I think we need a one-on-one tournament, and I'm fine with putting that on Saturday, maybe in replacement of the skills competition. I don't want to replace the dunk competition. I just wish, guys like VJ Edgecombe and, obviously LeBron at this point, I think it's a tired conversation. I don't think we're going to get a LeBron dunk contest, but like Ant, I wouldn't mind seeing Jaylen Brown in it again. Like, I just want legit dunkers who have a name. And maybe if it's upping the prize money pool from Adam Silver on his end, I think you ante up and make it a bigger pool prize, or incentivize real creativity with more props, because everyone remembers Blake Griffin jumping over the car. Everyone remembers Gerald Green blowing out the cupcake on the back of the rim. Like there's good stuff to be had here. I just think we need the right guys to compete, and social media is probably a big cause in why guys might not want to. And maybe it's a money thing and us being too judgmental. I don't know. But I would love for the dunk contest to be great again. Friday, All-Star, the celebrity stuff is just, it's so tired at this point, bro. Like Friday, I would like to, you know what I want to see? I want to see like the Inside the NBA crew do some competitions on Friday night. Like let's get Kenny, Shaq, Charles, Ernie, like let's get those guys to do a shootout or a half-court contest or something on Friday night and call it a day with Friday and the celebrity game, because Friday night over it, like I haven't watched the Friday night in years. I remember the rookie versus sophomore game, or like just the rookie game, or the Rising Stars. I know they tweaked it a couple times, but like really enjoyed that. Like if we were watching Coop, VJ, Con Knuppel, like all those guys competing this year in a even if it was like a same style as the Sunday game. I don't know. I'm rambling here. I have a lot of fixes. I do think
I love your fixes. What would Dunny's ideal All-Star weekend be?
So I think just that. I think something with the Inside the NBA guys actually competing on Friday. Then it goes into a rookie versus sophomore / Rising Stars game, even if you want to do the tournament style, also on Friday. Saturday, skills competition, but back to one-on-one, just regular, time race, but also have to hit certain intervals of the skills comp. Dunk contest or 3-point contest, finish with a dunk contest. And I want guys to care. I want big names in the dunk contest. So Adam Silver, just make that prize pool a little bigger. And then Sunday, I'm cool with Sunday being how it was. I really enjoyed it. I was thinking maybe the world team could be, if they can't get enough guys, like Jokic can bring a teammate of his choosing to the world side, or like SGA could bring a teammate of his choosing to the world side, or Luka can bring a teammate, like their current teammates on their NBA team, if they can't fill up the world team. But otherwise, I wouldn't tweak Sunday too much, but just we got to get Saturday back to its old self. Really, really missing the hype of the dunk contest, 3-point contest. I think is holding all the weight on Saturday.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I'm with Friday. Like, why do they even do Friday at this point? Like, why do they make people even pay for 3 days of events? Like, add the right. Like, I'd rather have like put the Rising Stars Sunday right before the All-Star game or something like that, or and then to do back-to-back games, or even do one of the maybe do the dunk contest, right? Like instead of doing Saturday night as the main event, make it the lead into the All-Star game, make it like the pregame for that, get the crowd hyped up. That maybe you get more guys interested in doing it if it was like, oh well, we know we got to do something. I don't know. I also think some of these players just need to like quit worrying about being embarrassed or whatever else you're worried about. Just go do some dunks, man. Like you guys
Yeah.
could do some fun dunks. I think fans, honestly, I think at this point with the recent run of guys we've had in the dunk contest, I think fans would appreciate it if it wasn't like the most creative, like if it was just like solid dunks, like 7 or 8 dunks, but it's coming from stars. I think people would
Yeah.
like that more because at least like you got something to cheer for. You got something that you're like someone that you know and that you're like going for. Like it's really hard to tell a casual person who tunes in for All-Star Weekend to watch the dunk contest anymore because it's like, who is that guy that plays 1
Jackson
minute a game? It's
Hayes,
like, I don't
bro.
even
Like
know.
Jackson Hayes was in the dunk contest. Like, what are we doing, man?
Ridiculous. Like just
Like
ridiculous.
he's a guy who's been like in and out of rotations on teams he's been on. A guy who pushed over a mascot is getting sued by the Wizards mascot
I
currently.
forgot
Like
about that.
we don't need guys like that in the dunk contest. And no disrespect to even the guy on the Heat who won the dunk contest, who I can't even think of his name right now. Like that's a problem. And you're so right about the name recognition too, because even like Sunday, like I wasn't really sure how to feel about the game going in, but I was like, oh, I'm in on Team Stripes because Jaylen Brown's on Team Stripes. I'm a Celtics fan, obviously, so I'm like, regardless of how this game goes, when this tournament starts, I'm rooting for Team Stripes. And that's what I did. And he balled out in the first game. He didn't do so great, but then by the third game, I'm like, all right, I'm fully invested. I want Team Stripes to win this. Came up short to Team Stars, but yeah, man, it's tough. It's tough when Jace Richardson falling and really avoiding a pretty gruesome injury is the most memorable dunk attempt from Saturday night. So those would be our fixes. The last thing on All-Star before we move on is just Kawhi in that one stretch where he just went absolutely nuclear and scored 30 plus in like 12 minutes. Was
absurd, dude.
Kawhi is just letting the league know, and maybe the Clippers and himself are getting a little blackballed because of all the aspiration stuff this year and the trees but
What about the trees?
Kawhi is definitely still the claw, and it just bums me out a little more.
Why have we not named him the Lorax at this point, bro? Come on. We gotta get that going. He's the Lorax now.
We might have to change that. Yeah. And like the Clipper, like I don't know, like maybe Garland comes back sooner rather than later, and they can still make a push because we'll talk about the tanking in a little bit. But
did you see about Garland though? I don't think he's coming back. They said that the Clippers, Lawrence Frank said I think it was before All-Star with his availability was that he's still something that we've known obviously, but I don't think a lot of fans have realized. Still recovering from his off-season toe injury on his left toe. Like that is brutal. Like it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Like the other toe that he hurt is fine now; it's all healed. But the one that was initially hurt, still ailing. So I don't know. Like I don't know if it's worth it for them to even try to bring him back at this point. But
might have to remove the toe at this point. This is.
Yeah.
An off-season.
Has there ever been a 9-toed basketball player? Maybe Darius could be the first.
Well, we had Gerald Green, who's speaking of his cupcake dunk. He had 9 fingers, but I don't know if we've ever had.
That's right.
If we've ever had a 9-toe guy, Garland could be the first. And you only get this type of basketball insight on Happy Hour Hoops.
Absolutely.
We will break.
We're just trying to turn over every stone.
Players with missing phalanges. But yeah, man, All-Star, I give it a B, a solid B for the whole weekend because hated Friday. I'm probably going to continue hating Friday until they give us a little Rising Stars action or something a little better than just the celebrity game. Saturday needs work, but I think it just needs stars like the 3-point contest and the dunk contest. And Sunday we're cooling right now. I'll give Adam Silver a pass on Sunday because it was pretty damn good, and he got people rooting for him. So there's that.
What did they have? Why did they ever go away from the target score?
I don't know, because it was cool in the overtime on Sunday.
It was great in the overtime. It was like I feel like when they were that was where the initial we're gonna do the mini games throughout. at the 4 quarters and do the cumulative score, whatever, and then you'd have the target score at the end. And I
Yeah.
feel like that was like, I remember it being the discourse after that All-Star game being, especially towards the end of the game, how intense it was when it was coming down to the target score. And it was so hard for anybody to get a bucket for like 5-7 minutes. You're seeing guys like fly up and down and I was like, it felt like in that moment watching it a couple years ago, I was like, this is perfect. They never have to change the All-Star game again. And then it just has changed over the last
Yeah.
couple years. And they still might not, Dunny, they might not do this format next year. The thing is, they said that this might be like an Olympic year only thing where it's like every other year or maybe only during the winter. Like, I don't even understand like if they mean both Olympics or not, but so maybe they go east-west and then back to the world. Like, I don't know. So, but Adam Silver, we could have had a whole podcast just about Adam Silver, I think, today if we wanted to, because there's a lot.
Adam Silver PR is just going up and down. The Adam Silver PR is just a roller coaster this past week, and I think we'll probably touch on it more when we get to tanking. But yeah, that was All-Star Weekend, and now we're going to take a closer look into the teams that we're paying most attention to.
Yes.
After All-Star break, because again, we're going to talk about the tanking, we're going to talk about the East-West, but obviously this is the final stretch of the season is coming up, and my team, I'll talk about my Celtics a little bit too, but the team that I am paying closest attention to post All-Star break, it's a team that I hope everyone was catching a glimpse of before All-Star break because they were one of the hottest teams in January and the start of February, the Charlotte Hornets. And now more than ever, they're 9-1 in their last 10. They're 26-29, so they don't even have a winning record. But if the season ended today, they would be in the play-in tournament. You have the Orlando Magic, who just ruled out Franz Wagner indefinitely. So that could be meaning he's shut down for the season. They're the 7 seed. The Hornets could easily get there. I mean, like, it's very possible this Hornets team plays their way into just a playoff spot at this point. The Heat, who knows with the Heat? They're very weird. I think the top 6 or at least the top 5 are probably locked with the Sixers, Raptors, Cavs, Knicks, Celtics, Pistons. But you never know. Like, the Hornets could make that jump. They were playing that well before the All-Star break. And it's possible the Hornets are an actual playoff team. They have talent all up and down the roster. They made a few moves to make themselves better at the deadline. I really like this team. Brandon Miller is kind of playing like the guy who everyone thought he could be. He's playing like his favorite player or his GOAT is Paul George, and Brandon Miller's kind of playing like him. And obviously, LaMelo is going to be LaMelo, but you got Cockburner's just been working out for them. They got Grant Williams, who's like giving them solid minutes. They just have guys like recognizable names and for the first time in forever up and down the roster. And it's clicking. It's clicking for the Hornets right now. And I'm really liking what I'm seeing.
Yeah, man, they're a lot of fun. Did you see though about LaMelo today?
Yes.
Just the news. So LaMelo Ball. Go ahead.
Just saw footage.
There's footage?
Recording. Yeah.
Oh no!
Right before we started recording.
LaMelo Ball. I don't know. Is he wanted? Like, is there a warrant out for him at least for something? Or is this already settled? But he was allegedly involved in a hit and run. He just smashed up somebody's car and just kind of dipped out.
Yeah,
I'll
try to.
It's the most LaMelo Ball thing to do, bro. You're so rich. Like, just pay for the dude's car. Like, it's so stupid to not handle this. Like, it's
and I feel like he's like LaMelo's kind of always been in things like this where it's like it's hard to beat the allegations of him like not caring outside of just getting his shots up, because this is probably the best team. I mean, definitely the best team he's ever had since he's been a part of the Hornets, and it's tough. I'm not to say that he doesn't entirely care, but it's the off the court stuff is never good, and it just on the court, it still doesn't look like he's 100% trying out there every night. But the rest of his team and the coaching staff is very, very locked in. So I'm watching closely the Hornets.
No, they're a lot of fun. They're, I mean, right on the outside, or right. I think there might be wherever they're at. Right, they're only a couple games back from the Magic and the Heat. Right on the outside
That's
of
what I'm
that
saying.
division
I
lead.
think the Magic are going to start dropping.
Yeah, like it's very close. Like they are only 4.5 games back of the Sixers. Now I feel like the top 6 is pretty set in the Eastern Conference, but if there's going to be a team that breaks into that group, it is probably this Charlotte team. So, and that's, I never would have imagined we would have been saying that at the beginning of the year, but they've been, and it's been fun. Like they are one of the most fun teams to watch in the league. So I'm with you, Dunny. I think all eyes need to be on Charlotte. I will be seeing the Charlotte Hornets next Tuesday live and in person. And when I was talking with my friend, I was like, hey, we should go to a Bulls game. Like as the season ends, tickets are going to get cheap. The Bulls, got rid of everybody, whatever. And we were deciding what game to go to. And we chose this game because we're like, bro, we kind of want to see the Hornets in person. Like, let's see what this team looks like. And I never would have said that any time in the past 5, 10, 15 entirety of my life. So this is a first. I paid real American dollars to watch the Charlotte Hornets live here in Chicago, and I'm very excited about it.
Oddly enough, me and our mutual good friend Brett are doing the same thing when he comes back to Boston in March, I believe, because he's going to be home for 2 Celtics games, and it was between the Mavericks and Cooper Flag coming to town, which we wanted to, but the prices for that game are out of control. So we decided on the Hornets, but I am not mad about it for the same reasons that you just spoke on. So we both have a team that we'd like to talk about, and then we're going to do a little Homer's Corner because I have a word about the Celtics, and then obviously we haven't had a podcast since the New Look Cavs, who have been cooking with James Harden and Donovan Mitchell as the star duo there. So why don't you talk a little bit about the Rockets, and then we'll both get a chance to do a little bit on our own teams.
Well, we got to talk about the Rockets because of that's where I wanted to bring up the KD, the burner situation here. So if you are a follower of the NBA and everything, I'm sure that you know this story as it's going on right now. But if you haven't seen it, if you're not chronically online like Kevin Durant seems to be, we still don't know where this came from, how it happened, how it came to be, but it seems that Kevin Durant has had a burner account. Get off my Dickerson 77 is the account if you want to go look at that. That I don't think was posting to the timeline ever. I didn't see any timeline posts or anything, but in group chats with the fans, like I think it was akin to like stan group chats where celebrities like bring all their fans in and talk to them and everything else. Just unleashing on a lot of play, and who knows how long this is. Like I mean, we've all seen all the same screenshots. We have no idea what the time frame is when these messages are. Like, it could be messages over like the last 6 years. Honestly, like who knows how long this has been going on. Katie posted the picture. There's the, if you do the investigative social media, is that Katie posted the picture that is the header photo of that in like 2021 or 2022, right? Like something like that. So at least if you put those pieces together and want to just take it as fact, it's been like 5 years at least that this account's been going on. So like all this stuff, like there's stuff about James Harden, there's stuff about Steph and Draymond, there's stuff about Simmons, there's about so many players that he's currently playing with. Obviously, that's the big thing I want to talk about with the Rockets. The Jabari Smith comments and just talking about how that team has been functioning this year. So there's a lot to go off of. It's a lot of who knows. There's no verifiable way to tell if he today got interviewed before practice. Like, I'm not talking about no Twitter nonsense, which is hilarious coming from Kevin Durant, just his normal Twitter persona in general.
Yeah.
You have to mention the Rockets here because we've never. Bill was talking about this the other day, so I'm not gonna take his whole tip, but we've never seen anything like this. There's no roadmap for how this gets handled or how this turns out. We've never had one of the greatest players in the history of a sport get exposed on social media for having a burner account and messaging seemingly normal people about former teammates and current teammates.
Yeah,
Like, that's absurd.
The current stuff is crazy, right? Because like he's like, oh, stop worrying about my turnovers. Sengun turns the ball over all the time, and like he's your future. He's the Rockets' future, and it's all like in the Jabari Smith stuff. Like I know you said that, but like basically just calling him stupid, and that's a nice way of putting it. Like that's got to be the most concerning. And then if it does come out that it's KD, like he just burned every single bridge he's had with past teammates and coaches, like you mentioned. So, but definitely the Rockets stuff that's happening now, the team that is employing him now, the team that going into this season they were a damn near title favorite, and but they've been a little disappointing in the kind of middle of this season, but. Yeah, I mean this is just bizarro land, and KD, the Twitter fingers guy himself, is in the thick of it, and suddenly doesn't want to talk about it. Obviously, during All-Star, was on his phone a lot, getting caught on camera being on his phone during the game, during timeouts, and funny now that he has nothing to say. I regardless of if this is true or not, I'm always gonna love KD. KD is still one of my favorite players of all time. Probably favorite non-Celtic until he retires. So it's still absolutely insane, though, if this is him. But go. I didn't mean to cut you off. You can continue about just how locked in we have to be on the Rockets now because of all this.
There's not much more to say. Like, it's really just it's a full-on psychological evaluation and analysis of the Houston Rockets going forward. I'm going to be watching how they go to timeouts, who's KD talking to on the bench, who's he high-fiving, like can this and this is the biggest test, the biggest guy who's probably put up the task for this, Ime Udoka. Like, if this is true, if it is Kevin, like Ime shows up Wednesday, does he pull Kevin in and be like, bro, was like, be honest, like what's the deal? How does Kevin react to that conversation? How does Ime treat it going forward? Because you brought in Kevin Durant to be your leader, to be the guy to put you over the edge. Like, this is a team that has title aspirations this year. Yes, they are a very young group, but they brought in Kevin Durant because they think that he was going to put them over the edge to win the title. How much do you give to this guy who, whatever he says, is clearly not the best teammate? Can I say that? Like, I don't think like that's
not crazy to say at all.
Oh, is it? Like, how many teams has he been on? Is this his fifth or sixth team? Whatever, is like way out of a lot of situations. Clearly is willing to talk to relative strangers about teammates and former teammates in a very flippant manner. Like, I don't think I would do that about my teammates in general, just because, like, not even like, could this get back to them, but it's not these people's place. Like, why? Like, I just don't. Kevin Durant, I think Kevin Durant's got a problem, is what it is. Like, he's addicted to social media. Because, like, why would you feel the need to even do this, bro? Like, why are you not just talking about that, like, with your boy? In a group chat with people, like, unless these people do, like, and that's the thing, is we don't know who's in this. Like, I want to know. Where's Pablo Torre? Friday's podcast better be all about what this group chat is and who's in it, because, like, who are
part
these
of
other
my
people?
take speculated that it was like a video game, like, friend group chat, so like friends that he met from video games.
Okay.
And like how you have that, like, people you've never met in real life, but like people you meet on the game, everyone's still kind of anonymous. And maybe that was the case, but I thought that was a funny angle. I don't know
I
if I
could
think
see
that that's
that.
true, but it
I could
is.
see
Yeah,
that.
it also
But
is
like,
like,
who
what
are
is the
these people?
origin? Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
like I want to know if that's the case. Cool. Like Katie runs Dungeons or not Dungeons, World of Warcraft or something, and these are his boys, and this is their group chat. And sometimes he just needs to pop off about Ben Simmons for a little while, and that's fine. Like that's cool. Like if that's the case, but like the origin of the like, here's the thing too, Dunny. To go deeper in on it, and I know this is I've thought a lot about this, obviously. How does it like why did it come out on Sunday right before the All-Star game? Like
Right.
who had were they like if all these things were super old, like did someone just get mad? Like did they get into an argument in the group chat with Kevin? Like fuck this guy? Like has someone been plotting this whole time? Did someone new join in and just like find out? Like so many unanswered questions of why it got leaked when it did, because clearly it was a strategic leak. Like you don't put
Yeah.
that out Sunday an hour and a half before the All-Star game without trying to get Mac's eyes on it. Clearly it got Kevin's attention. All the videos, it's hilarious of him walking into the arena on his phone. The Phoenix or not the Rockets even just posting the pictures to the account of him walking in on his phone. Like that's hilarious. Like the social media admin had to really love sending that post after seeing the screenshots and everything else there. Him on the court in warm-ups on his phone. Like just a weird day. And I have more questions than I'll probably ever have answers for this. But I really want to know, like, and maybe someday we will know. I'm calling out Pablo Torre. Pablo, and I'm sure you're on this, Pablo. But like, who's in that group chat? What was the group chat? Can we get one of those interviews where the person's like face is all out and they use the voice modulator with someone from the group chat, be like, yeah, bro, Katie was always in here chirping up, blah, blah. Like that's what I need. That's what I need out of this. This can't go away. It has to stay forever. But I don't think it ever will go away. I think we're always going to remember this now about Kevin Durant. And honestly, this is a dude who's a Finals MVP, 2-time champ, multiple time All NBA player, an MVP in his own right, all this other stuff, and we're only going to talk about him for like the next 30 years about him being too much of a poster. And now this drama will be talked about, and however it ends up, like it's kind of crazy what Kevin Durant's legacy is turning into after what we kind of thought it would be. But he's just going to be like seen as a troll more than he's going to be seen as an elite basketball player.
Yeah, this has kind of surpassed the like leaving OKC for Golden State stuff. Like it's just all social media stuff for this guy now. And again, I'm still gonna love him. I'm still gonna love the way he plays. But it is crazy. And like to bring this back to the Rockets, like people were already questioning the body language of this team right before the All-Star break. And it's like, you said, what is Ime going to think? Like, what is Sengun and Jabari going to think? Even if like Ime makes KD address the team and tell the truth, and he denies it. Like, if you're those two guys, like you probably don't believe that.
Yeah.
No matter what he says, like deep down, they're going to think, hey, is this the 37-year-old leader of our team, our captain, our best player is saying this about me? Like that probably doesn't give you a boatload of confidence. And then you look at where they are in the standings. They're the 4 seed, probably going to get caught by the Lakers soon if they keep falling, because the Lakers are a half game back from them. They're probably not catching the Nuggets or the Spurs at this point. Definitely not the Thunder. So, well, I guess they're a game back from the Nuggets, but you expect Jokic to keep playing. I don't think they'll catch the Spurs, who are rolling.
I still love the Wolves. Wolves are pretty close by there.
Wolves are right there too. Yeah, they're only a half game back as well. Good call.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. And then, his former teammate, the Phoenix Suns, are two games back. So
that needs to be the 4-5 series. I don't know how we get it, but a Suns Rockets series would be so amazing, considering he had some. I'm not bringing that up, but he had some choice words about Devin Booker here in these group chats too. So like, would love to see those two go at it. in a playoff
Absolutely,
series.
man.
But I'm with you. I'm with you. And I was thinking like Sengun, I feel like Sengun, you should just be like, you should just let that roll off your back. Like you're the alpha of this team, bro. It is your team. Like just be like, bro, fall in line. Like I don't care. I'm gonna go slower now. Like, sorry,
Yeah.
buddy. Like you're gonna play up to me. Jabari posted a picture on Instagram of him and KD yesterday. So maybe they're cool.
All
Like
right.
the thing,
All love
the
there.
Jabari thing, like I could see it. It's mean, but I could see that being like Katie like loves Jabari actually, and
Yeah.
it's just like he's just an idiot, and like
Jabari's
there's
still
still
what, like
love there.
22 years old?
Yeah,
Like maybe he's like calling him like a dumb kid.
yeah, exactly. Like there, you still got some room to grow. The Sengun stuff was more pointed, I think, but that's also
Yeah.
just some basketball
And like
alpha.
comparing the play of the two, basically.
Yeah, so
He's 22, Jabari Smith.
it's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be interesting, and it's hilarious that the old man on the team is the one involved in the burner scandal. Like I don't
Of
know,
course, right.
crazy
Yeah,
stuff.
like you would have expected this from like a Jalen Green on the Rockets last year, like Amen like being in a weird group chat that gets leaked. But no, it's Kevin Durant. It's your superstar. It's the guy you brought in the offseason to get to that next level. And regardless if it's true or not, this is going to cause some internal, some external problems. And I love how polar opposite our two choices of who we're watching closely are after the All-Star break, because Hornets Eastern
You're
Conference,
watching for
Rockets,
fun. I'm watching for chaos.
right? Could be chaos in both teams, but for completely different reasons.
Well, LaMelo did
Wait.
have some chaos today. I did watch that
Yeah.
video, and that's, I mean, what is he even doing, bro? Just pull over. Like, what are
Yeah.
you doing, man?
Oh man, it's so easy to make it right when you're that rich.
You're
And,
in the car is the biggest thing. Like, bro, no, everybody in Charlotte, like, I didn't realize that's what his. First of all, that's his vehicle. That's what it looks like. You thought you were gonna get away with that, bro? You're not just in like some black rolls or something. Like, what the hell?
It's like a GTA, like horrible custom paint job looking car. Oh, it's so bad, man. Actually, I meant to bring this up with the All-Star summary, but like maybe this is just goes to show, and I was gonna say this anyway. Like the players have a little bit too much time, I think, after the All-Star break of like not like, do they really need to wait until Thursday? Like I think LaMelo had a little too much time,
A little too much time, yeah,
of not practicing it, and maybe this could have been avoided. But crazy stuff from the Hornets, crazy stuff from the Rockets. I'm gonna do a few minutes here on the Celtics, and then I know you have some words on the Cavs too. So I also think these are both great picks for the topic.
That's what I was gonna like. I had to pick Cavs because I feel like it is like one of the answers, and I think the Celtics is one of the answers too at this point.
Especially that little nugget that NBC gave us during the All-Star game, which I'll get into. Like I've always been in the camp where I did believe Jason Tatum was going to come back this year. I just was like, I'm still not sure how to feel about it as a fan. Like, obviously not up to me. Doesn't matter what I think at all, but I'm a little scared as a fan of him coming back and either re-injuring or making it worse for himself next year. But if you were watching the All-Star game, you saw the NBC kind of promo of Jason Tatum, and you know, Jake, you said it to Steve and I. You were like, they're treating Tatum like a WWE play or a WWE wrestler, and it did feel like that. But it's nearly confirmed at this point that he's going to come back this season. You had all the NBC stuff of them changing the early March game of the Sixers and the Celtics to NBC and making it a night game. So everyone is expecting Tatum to kind of return at this point early March if he's going to, which again, people think is going to happen. So that's why I think the Celtics actually do fall into this category of we should be watching the Celtics very closely after the All-Star break. We've praised them a bunch on this show. I think all of us, even myself, my hot take before the year was like, don't be surprised if even if Joel Embiid plays the whole season, that the Celtics have a better record than the Sixers. They're obviously overachieving in that department. I did not think they would be the 2 seed, and then inserting Jason Tatum into your roster in any capacity at this point of the season is a plus. I don't care what Stephen A has to say. I don't care what Boston. Actually, I think Stephen A has been pretty pretty fair about the Celtics to this point this season, which is surprising. But like all the Boston radio shows are just like, oh, is this gonna work? Like this is Jaylen Brown's team this year. Like the Jays are past that, man. They figured it out. They won their title together. Those guys aren't worried. They're both pros. They're both, absolutely in their prime. They've won at the highest level. They can figure it out. Obviously, it's going to take some coaching. They're going to have to work out some kinks in practice, but the Celtics should be a team to watch as is, and very closely watch now, because the Vucevic addition before the trade deadline, I think people are already forgetting about that, and then Jason Tatum possibly returning to the lineup. No one knows what that's going to look like, but there's everything in my heart of hearts tells me that's a good thing. Regardless if there's some chemistry issues at first, regardless if there's a poor shooting game at first, like this is a good thing for this team, and I'm super excited, man. So I think all eyes should be on the Boston Celtics. Again, 5.5 games back from the Pistons. I don't know if inserting Jason Tatum gets you that 1 seed, but if you can hold that 2 seed, even 3 seed, it's great. It's such a win of a season. And, they shouldn't feel too comfortable in that spot, though, Jake, because your Cavaliers are rolling and are the owners of 5 straight wins.
I will say, before we move on from the Celtics here in that 1 seed race, I don't think any of these teams are going to be scared of the Pistons going into the playoffs. But playing in Detroit, they're 21-6 at home this year. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you remember from growing up. What I grew up with as a basketball fan, as a Cavs fan, was the Detroit Pistons as my mortal enemy, and the Palace of Auburn Hills basically being like the scariest place to play a basketball game. Like growing up and everything else, it felt like playing a football game at like the Swamp or at Georgia or something like that. Like that's what it really felt like anytime the Cavs would have to go regular season, and especially the playoffs, and seeing any team play against the Pistons in Detroit was always like, man, like that crowd brings it. It's so hard to win there. And that's the thing. I think, I don't know if the Pistons are as good as the Celtics, the Knicks, or the Cavs in their current state, and especially when Tatum comes back. But having that Game 7 at home for the Pistons will be huge. Having those early home games in the series against such a physical team, like I'm very interested to see how the Pistons kind of respond to the getting everybody's best shot as we come down the stretch and into the playoffs and everything else, if they can hold that up. Because we've seen teams like this come out of the All-Star break and kind of, like, if they play 500 ball the rest of the way, they're probably going to get caught by at least one of these teams. I don't know which one it'll be, but I feel pretty good thinking that one of Boston, New York, or Cleveland is going to go on a really nice run to end the season, more akin to what they were last year than they are this year. So
I agree with that.
We'll see.
Also, huge game tomorrow night, Pistons Knicks at 7:30. And then, do you want to hear the Pistons' next 8 games?
I would love to.
I just knew they played the Knicks tomorrow, so I was curious of the schedule. Pistons' next 8 games: Knicks, Bulls, Spurs, Thunder, Cavs, Magic, Thunder, Spurs. So the Cavs play the Pistons twice in the next 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Celtics don't have an easy schedule their next 5. They have a bit of a road trip. So the top of the East is going to be, we could have just put the whole top of the East in this category as well, but it's going to be popcorn coming down the stretch here. And Jake, give us a few minutes on your Cavs, because the Harden Dawn thing has been working, and there's no other way to put it.
All right. So, do you follow the Zodiac GM on Twitter?
Let's see. I've seen posts. I'm not sure if I follow.
I think you need to follow the Zodiac GM, because if you're not a believer in astrology, this will make you a believer in it, because the Zodiac GM does not a big tweeter all the time, but like, you realize the teams that are working out have the astrological synergy. You know who has great astrological synergy right now? The Charlotte Hornets. Hornets, A+. Let's see, LaMelo, Con Knipple and Brandon Miller have A plus synergy among the 3+ due to their things. They're crushing it right now. Since the Bucks had their trade deadline, they have A plus symmetry. And what they do, they beat the Thunder on the road before the All-Star break, right? Two guys who have A plus chemistry, according to the Zodiac GM: James Harden, Donovan Mitchell. They are both Virgos with Cancer moons. They're
Doing
the
my
same.
homework now. Yeah, I'm seeing this.
And this Donovan Mitchell quote from today, from an interview: I never played with a guy like him. I never had a guy like that before. We're not here to figure out who's better. It's how we are going to win.
It's all the right things.
They've been saying that's it. They've been saying all the right things since James has said all the right things since he showed up. Don has said all the right things since he showed up. And if you watch them play in the 3 games they got to play before the All-Star break, Dunny, it looks like a whole new basketball team.
It really
like
does,
it
man.
doesn't. It does not feel like anything, even compared to last year. It feels like a whole different iteration of this team, and it really does. I was not happy about James Harden at first, obviously, and I'm still very scared of what it looks like come playoff time. But James Harden is so much better than Darius Garland. That's not to say Darius Garland it won't be a great player for the next 10 years, and this is clearly the Cavs turning their window from we're trying to, bring these young guys along to we think we can win the title now and next year, and James Harden's going to be a part of that. But James Harden, he's just so much better. He brings so much more, but also just clearly there was something wrong with this team, like mentally, chemistry-wise, whatever it is. And I think the DG injury situation was really wearing on them because he's been a guy who's been hurt parts of all the last 3 since Don got brought in. Garland's been hurt on and off that whole time. Breaks his face, like the toe injury. Like all these weird little things that have happened to him. And I feel like the team just looks at it as like, we're never gonna be able to count on that guy. Like that. And that's what we talked about a couple weeks ago. We were talking about the Harden trade. Like at least he plays. At least we know he's going to be out there on the court. But the chemistry between him and Mitchell, without even really I don't even know, James Harden didn't even know, couldn't have known any offense or anything like that of what they run or whatever else. And that team just looks so much more in sync. We haven't even seen Evan Mobley on the floor with them yet, but Jared Allen,
he's supposed to return tomorrow night for the Cavs.
He is. Yeah. And so seeing what he does with Harden is going to be really interesting. Allen has been incredible, has had multiple 90+% field goal percentage games with Harden in tow. Harden clearly is looking to get him involved a lot. Even Allen said before the All-Star break that it feels like the team's got a different energy, a different mojo right now. So they're just, I think that as much as it is, I love seeing this because it's my favorite basketball team. I think it's one of the most interesting stories, if not the most interesting storyline outside of, I think the most interesting thing is if Jason Tatum comes back. I mean, that's one of the craziest stories, returns from injuries in all of his sports history. So everybody's going to be locked in on that. But this is one of the biggest subplots of this season now is this Cavs team. And with Harden, what is the ceiling now? I feel like we don't really know, and I don't know if we'll really know at all. And then it comes down to, okay, you get in the playoffs, people are going to want to believe. If the Cavs keep up what they've done before the All-Star break, if that's just who they are now with what Harden's looked like, so many people are going to want to pick the Cavs to come out of the East. They're going to be a sexy pick to come out of the East with those two guys. But the hang-up's going to be, hey, man, but it's James Harden. What's going to happen? And I'm I was scared, but now I just want so bad. Since I've joined forces with Harden FC here, I want so bad for this man to just break through, for him to just break through for once, bro. Just come on. He deserves it. This is clearly a guy who cares about the craft himself. His teammates all love him. We talked about Kevin Durant earlier. The only guy who really didn't catch strays was James Harden. You call him delusional, but James Harden does seem a little bit like a delusional man. But James clearly is loved by his teammates, loved around the league. Yes, he's a businessman first. He's a mercenary. So what? That, I don't care if he's trying to get owners to pay him as much money as they can. Good on you, bro. That's no one never going to hate on that. But I just never thought I'd see myself where I'm going to be living and dying on James Harden. And I really want it for him at this point too. And Donovan Mitchell too, because Donovan Mitchell seems like new energy. Give like remember we were even talking about it earlier in the year. Like he looked drained. He looked like he was already feeling like he had to carry such of a load. And then you start getting the reports, hey man, he might not re-sign, all this other stuff. This has given him a new lease on life. I don't know if he re-signs in the summer yet. Like, I mean, I think they still have to at least get to the conference finals. And honestly, I think they have to get to the NBA finals for him to re-sign this summer. And that puts a lot of pressure on next year if they don't do that, because then you probably are bringing in LeBron James and the farewell tour of all farewell tours to join along next season too. So I think that there is a lot of pressure going into it, but I feel like these guys are ready to go to war with each other. And I'm just so excited to see what the possibilities are, even though I know deep down somewhere, some way, James Harden's going to just infuriate me in like game 5
it's
of
inevitable.
a playoff series. But
It's
maybe
gonna
they can
happen.
overcome it. Maybe 36-year-old
Right.
James Harden, it's fine if he does that because you have Donovan Mitchell on your team. Like, you know what I mean? Who knows?
Shooters everywhere. There's no Joel Embiid to also kind of flop in the moment
No
as
Chris
well.
Paul to flop in the moment as well.
Yeah.
Like, it feels a little better. No, no. This is the best he's looked in like 6 years, Harden.
Yeah.
Like he's been
And people
awesome.
were saying that too on the Clippers before this trade was even made. Like it's not like this just happened when he got traded to the Cavs. Like he's having an unbelievable year. This is 40 plus games of this. It's not just since he's been on the Cavs the last 5 games or whatever it's been. And you mentioned how good Jared Allen's been with the James Harden edition. Like I can't even imagine what Mobley's going to do and what he's going to unlock for Mobley, just being the lob threat, the pick and roll options, everything. I mean, he just unlocks a lot of different things for big men, especially, but just everyone on the roster offensively. So I think you got a good one. I would say for the shock factor compared to the actual outcome, like the Cavs so far have nailed this trade. Very, very well done.
It's crazy times, man. Crazy times.
Crazy. All right, let's roll into Kyrie Irving being ruled out for the season. Kind of makes sense. Like he's not going to come back for the Mavericks. Basically, just a big injury update. A lot been announced the last couple of days. Zach LaVine is getting surgery. He's going to be out all season for the Kings. Sabonis is going to be out the rest of the season for the Kings. And Franz Wagner out indefinitely. Kind of mentioned it earlier when we were talking about the East. Out indefinitely for the Magic. So let's start with the Kings because it pertains to the whole tanking thing that we talked about Adam Silver's PR going up and down with the tanking and the All-Star stuff, but like people were so mad at the Kings for just sitting their best players and being accused of tanking that I think they might have done one of these two things just to be able to sit their stars and not have to put up with the tanking accusations, I guess. Oh, did I lose Jake?
Dunny, I froze. Dunny, I froze for like the last 15 seconds. I'm sorry. I think I'm back though. Can you hear
Oh,
me?
you are back. You are back. Here we go.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, no, I was just
We
talking about the
good?
Kings.
Can
The
you hear me?
Kings tanking. I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. 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 Good. 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 Yeah. No, I froze for like the last 15 seconds. The Kings tanking.
Kings tanking got
Everybody's tanking.
accusations, and now they shut down Levine and Sabonis for the season so they can do it ethically.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ethically, right.
I heard a Rosillo take on this that I kind of liked. It's like tanking. It doesn't matter which way you tank. Like the ownership of these teams who are trying to do what's best for their squad and get a better draft pick if they have no shot this year. Like they don't give a shit if it hurts your feelings the way they tank, and nor should they. But you also have to see it from Adam Silver's point of view, where it can affect the lottery big time. I hate the fact that they care about this, but they care that it affects gambling and player props. And, the Jazz, I think it was the Jazz Kings game. I know the Jazz were involved. I can't remember who they were playing, but there's a super competitive game. Jaren Jackson was playing awesome. And then they just shut down all their starters for the fourth quarter to obviously tank. So we have a little bit of this, and then like even the Kyrie Irving not coming back this year, I think it would be stupid to rush him back from the ACL and him being an older player, but gives the Mavs an opportunity to continue to tank and get a better draft pick. So obviously a lot of injury talk and some guys, out for good reason, but it also falls into this tanking category. So where are you at with that, just in general, or the Adam Silver piece? Because I know we talked about him a little bit earlier.
Well, the Silver piece of it all, bro. I don't know what he's. I think for the NBA owners, which is his first, obviously, and most important audience that he needs to cater to, he's probably done wonders. They're making more money than ever, all this other stuff. This tanking thing has gotten out of hand. I don't really know, unless he does decide to do something drastic though. It's like, what can you do to really curb this from like there's no incentive for these teams. Even and someone made the point earlier too. They're all the talk about abolishing the draft, which I think I've never liked that idea.
That can't happen in my opinion.
And I've heard it from about the NFL too and everything. And I get the points of like free market capitalism, all that sort of stuff, whatever. It's never worked, and it's only going to hinder teams. That it's just going to hinder. It's going to favor certain teams, whatever. But someone made a great point when talking about it. He's like, there's really only 5. I can't remember. It might have been Dragonfly Jones who was tweeting about it. It was like, there's really only ever been 5 teams at a time seriously trying to win. Like, there's 5 teams in the NBA at any given time that are spending the money, putting the resources, and have the actual talent to win. There's teams that are like fine with being pretty good and maybe getting lucky. And then there's just your teams that are a mess, like the Charlotte Hornets historically and everything else. And that the draft and not having the draft won't really change that. And I think that's fair. But I think that there's so many ways that they could just get rid of this tanking problem and make it basically a non-issue. I like the idea of having games starting maybe like right after the All-Star break. If you win, it counts towards your lottery odds rather than losing, like something like that. I like the idea of like the number 1 pick tournament, like doing that towards the end of the year. Like things like that, I think are actual ways that you can have it solved on the basketball court. And I think that's the only. Now, how are you going to? Why would players want to play hard to get the number 1 pick and get somebody to replace them on their team? That's a question you have to ask. But also,
Silver also does think that he can fix everything with the tournament. I think
that's what maybe
I think in the back of his head he was like, holy shit, just a tournament for everything. When I first saw that, I was like, bro, this guy has one pitch. His fastball is a tournament and he throws it all game long.
We'll play it down. What if that was what if the play-in tournament was awarded the number 1 pick? Imagine that.
Bananas.
Or like
I kind of like that.
Or like the play-in tournament, like you are guaranteed a top 5 pick, like something like that, and put it later in the year, like put the play-in tournament in February or something like that.
Yeah, because that way, like teams with championship aspirations, like don't necessarily have to try in that and be like, we're not wasting our time with playing games, but teams that are like kind of middling, don't want to tank. It's not bad.
Like,
might have to kick that over to the bald man.
To the bald man. And have it be like, if you're going to do that too, you have the play-in say you do it in February. I guess I don't know what you do with All-Star Weekend anymore, but like you could just abolish All-Star Weekend for all I care, whatever. Yeah, another All-Star. This is a tournament actually. That's kind of what they did, a little round robin.
Right, that's what I mean, dude. He thinks it fixes everything.
He got real tournament happy. Yeah, like say you start it right after the trade deadline. So it has to be after the trade deadline because your rosters need to be set, and then you have teams like, okay, like, are we going to tank? Are we not going to? It changes the trade deadline. It probably makes it less exciting. But, hey, get your team in order. We're starting this tournament. You get maybe you get your choice. Maybe the winner gets to pick. You either pick a guaranteed playoff spot or you pick the number one overall pick and go for
Wow.
there. Like something like put some real stakes on it and make them play. Like I honestly think that's the only way that this makes sense is if there is some way that you give stakes to teams playing for a top pick or the top odds or something like that. Whether it be a tournament, whether it be the odds increasing with wins towards the end of like you have a cutoff or anything else, whatever it may be, I do think that that's the only way you can do it. Or you just completely flatten the lottery odds and you say, listen, if you're in the lottery, you have a 1 in 14 chance, and that's it. Like you got, it's all equal, and tanking doesn't do anything for anybody. Like that's the
That
only way that it. But then you run the risk of teams like that are right on the playoff cusp deciding to tank because they don't think they're gonna like that's why there's so many unintended consequences if you just do it with the season that I think you just have to reward the number one pick for winning basketball games and go from there somehow, some way, or just do what the NFL does. Like the NFL draft is the biggest fucking thing in the world. Like
yeah.
the NFL draft is a bigger event than the damn near the NBA finals every year. I'm like that. Like people love the NFL draft. There's no lot. It's not because there's any lottery. Teams are just bad, and you just and that now. Would tanking happen with that too? Yes, probably way worse. But
that's why it's so tough. And like Mark Cuban had a pretty good quote too. He was like, I think Adam Silver is like paying too much attention to the tanking thing and like not more on the fan experience. Where I can see how the tanking thing kills the fan experience, but I'm pretty caught up on someone. I don't know if it was Silver himself, like worrying about the gambling. It's like if that's really what this is all about, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons because like obviously it's a super amplified year of tanking, but I mean look at the damn draft class, man. Like there is just number one guys after number one guys in this college draft class. So obviously these teams that are riddled with injuries or are in no man's land or didn't make the right moves at the deadline, like of course teams are going to tank. But also look at what we have at the top of both conferences. Like we talked about the Celtics, the Cavs, the Knicks, the Pistons already, and then you have Wemby, Jokic, Luka, SGA. Like the playoffs are still going to be good. We got to get there. I also think, what a lot of people have been saying for years, like I think shortening the season would help this issue too. There's less games to worry about teams tanking. There's less games to disappoint the fans. So I don't know. I think I don't think the tournament thing really fixes this. And I think Adam Silver might be paying a little bit too much attention to it. And I hope it's not for the wrong reasons.
It's probably the wrong reasons with Adam Silver.
And that's what I'm worried about. Obviously, tanking sucks, but I don't think you should fault like these owners and president of basketball operations. Like I guess the owners more so than the GMs and presidents of basketball operations, but their jobs aren't set in stone. Like if they've sucked for 5 years in a row, like yeah, they're gonna tank to try to get one of these 5-star players in the draft this year.
That's why I think Bill Simmons has the best fix where it's you can't have 2 top 4 picks back-to-back years. Like it never happens. Like if you tank one year and you get your first pick, cool, you're starting at 5 at best next year. Like
I don't mind that at all.
Or you can't win 2 lotteries in 5 years. So like you're automatically out of the running for number one pick after you get it for an X amount of time. Like
and that would still make the lottery, like you could still make that a televised event because it would still be exciting. Because you're like, if the team that got the number one pick the year before pops up again, it's like, ooh, automatically down to 5 or whatever it is. Like, and then like you have a pissed off fan base, but then everyone else is like, oh shit, like we still have a chance at this. So I don't hate that idea at all.
But the lottery it's always going to bring some stuff. I think this is the weekend where Adam Silver, I think the public sentiment finally turned on him. Like not just from basketball fans, but like regular just sports, casual basketball fans who are just sports fans and have seen just how this dude kind of conducts himself in these situations. And there's like, yeah, what's this guy doing? Like what's going on over there? So I'm glad to see it. I'm glad people are seeing what we've been seeing for a while.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff, man. And the Mavericks, obviously, I mentioned Kyrie a couple times here with the Mavs shutting him down. Like I did just want to touch on the more, and I can say this because Steve's not on this episode.
Oh boy.
But dude, the more days that pass, the more that Luka trade just gets so much
It's
worse
so bad,
because
dude.
now at this point they have another season where they don't get Kyrie. They had Kyrie and Luka, the duo that made it to the finals. Now, like you have to wonder, like Kyrie doesn't even really fit this team's timeline. So Kyrie could be moving on, or the team could be moving on from Kyrie next year. They barely got anything in return for the Davis thing. Obviously, you have Cooper Flag like that. That saves everything for the Mavericks fan, and kind of ties into what we were talking about with the sketchiness of the lottery because the Mavs got the number one pick last year and they shouldn't have. Um, so all just bizarre things. But yeah, Kings are in mega tank mode now, basically shutting down Levine and Sabonis, and we're still going to see some tanking this year. I'm fine with them doing things to prevent it. I just really hope it's not a drastic thing. I don't think they should get rid of the lottery. I definitely don't think they should get rid of the rookie draft. I think that's crazy. Um, but yeah, we'll see, man. Any other final thoughts before we get into the action tomorrow and get the second half of the NBA season rolling?
I did have flowers to give if you wanted to do
Okay.
that still.
Yeah, I deleted mine. I didn't think we could get to it, but let's do it. I'll do mine quick too if you do yours first.
We both kind of are in the same vein here. Actually, it's
Ooh,
pretty
I like
funny.
that.
I got Jay Huff on the
Dude,
Pacers.
we are definitely in the same vein. That's
Because-
hilarious.
Because the Pacers, I've been looking more at the Pacers recently because I'm
fun.
terrified. Well, they're fun and I'm terrified because I think
They're
they're
gonna-
going to be really good next year.
They're gonna
Really,
be so
really,
good
really
next
good.
year. And they're gonna have a good draft pick.
And they're going to have a good draft pick. And so looking up and down their roster, and Zub is not really, he's hurt. He hasn't gotten involved yet. I don't know if they're going to get him involved, whatever may be. Jay Huff, do you know that he is averaging almost 2 blocks a game in only 20 minutes? And he's also hitting like 1.4 threes per game. And he's shooting 85% from the free throw line. He's shooting from 3-point range. It's only 30% from 3, but he's taking them, hitting them. He's shooting 47% from the field. So he needs to get a little bit more efficient there. But the free throw line stuff shows that he has it in him. And I can just imagine him being more of a floor spacer for them next year and them just encouraging him, hey, take a couple more of these, like work on them in the summer. Yeah. And then Zubac being the more bully ball guy. I'm just really excited to see how they kind of play with both of them next year. And he's a guy who's been getting a lot of minutes for them this year. And I think will have a big role for a team who's going to be a title contender next year. So yeah, that was my pick, Jay Huff.
His dunk package is also so fun to watch.
Oh yeah. It's a blast.
He has the most like unorthodox dunks ever.
He's kind of an unorthodox guy. He's not the prettiest looking player out there, but he's effective.
He's definitely effective. And that's funny. We are totally on the same page with giving out our flowers because we both took white big men who are kind of flying under the radar. I would say the bigger name here, and I didn't just take his name because it's also my name, but Donovan Clingan of the Portland Trailblazers. Obviously a huge name at UConn in college. He's only 21 years old. He's 7'2", 280 pounds. You wonder, like a guy like this will probably slim down a little bit as his career goes on, but he has just been a monster this season. Basically, like just an old school center, everything you want from a big man. 11.6 points per game, 11.5 rebounds per game. So an 11 and 11 double-double as a second-year guy, 21-year-old. He can stretch the floor a little bit too, like doesn't shoot a lot of threes, but shooting 32% this year in 1.5 blocks a game, like literally just does all the dirty work. He has like 20 rebound, 3 block games all the time. Like I think his last game before the All-Star break, he had 23 and 18, 7 assists, 3 blocks. Like regardless of what Portland wants to do in the next couple of years here, obviously I think Clingan fits their timeline because they have a diverse roster of older and younger guys, but I would imagine they build around this young core. And even if Klingon isn't in their future plans, like this is a trade piece, an asset, whatever you like to call these guys in the NBA. But just someone who I know people aren't paying close attention to. Probably aren't watching too many Portland Trailblazer games, but shout out Donovan Klingon, man. Very funny that we both just picked two big white guys flying under the radar, but
Those are usually the
yeah,
guys flying under the radar in the
true,
NBA. It is what it is. Give the big men
absolutely
some love.
true. But yeah, so that was our giving flowers segment. I'm glad you brought that back up. We got to give our shout outs where shout outs are due, and yeah, enjoy the NBA action returning tomorrow. It's been a long awaited time to see some NBA games again. It's tough. I might have to do the nap at 7 p.m. tomorrow to watch my Celtics play at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
But I got to do what I got to do. They're playing the Warriors. Maybe Chris Stapps is going to be out there. We'll see, man.
You're at and that's is it the Peacock or is it Prime or something tomorrow? I thought that was on
Yeah,
there.
I think it's Prime.
Okay.
Could be wrong, but it's one. You're right. It is one of the streaming services. So yeah, be on the lookout. A lot of good games tomorrow, like we mentioned. Obviously, Cavs, Nets, but Mobley's returning. You got Knicks, Pistons, Celtics, Warriors, just to name a few. And we're all the way back, baby. Where playoffs are a little bit away here, and this is where the fun really starts in the NBA. So,
how about Sunday too, for both of us? Cavs Thunder Sunday at noon. 1 on ABC, and then your Boston Celtics taking on the Lakers on Sunday night.
Ooh,
so that is a fun little day of basketball. And then Knicks are here in Chicago too. So that'll be a fun. We got a good weekend ahead. Good weekend on tap.
Adam Silver ain't messing around, man.
Well,
he might be. He might add a tournament before the season's over.
Yeah, well.
For Jake, myself,
even the play-in, bro. Like we have the play-in. Like there's so
many tournaments. Everywhere. He's addicted. He's addicted to tournaments. He's got a serious problem.
Oh man.
That's gonna be another episode of Happy Hour Hoops, though, guys. For Jake, myself, presented by Trainwreck Sports. Shout out to Trainwreck Sports. Subscribe to the YouTube. Follow us on all socials at Happy Hour Hoops 1, and we will see you guys next episode. Later, guys.